Oh, hello! Hello, everyone. Hello, Chaplin, the true star of the show. How are you?
He is blind. He needs to show up to rehearsals. Okay.
Ah, he does. Gosh darn it, Chaplin.
He's all right.
But yes, everyone, welcome to Chatting with Doug, or Q&A with Doug. I can't remember what I called it on YouTube versus what I called it on Twitch, so you're welcome. Here we are. The show where you get to ask Doug questions, and he answers them, because he is actually a real human and not a hologram of Rob.
Last C2E2, I was shocked how many people kept coming up and they're like, "You're actually real." Like, what does that mean? I mean, I know AI has come far. It hasn't come that far. I feel like I'm way too random to be AI.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you're the pointy GIF guy, you know what I mean? So they're just not used to you necessarily being real in real life, so.
It's weird, man. It's weird.
It is.
Are we real? Are any of us real? I don't know. Anyway.
We are, Doug.
Real.
Let's not
This
start
love
this
is
right
real.
now. Anyway, we are going to get to some of our rules here so that we can, of course, answer some of your awesome questions. First and foremost, we give priority to the bit messages and super chats, since that is some real world money spent. Towards the end of streams, sometimes we have time for highlighted questions on Twitch, or just regular chat questions on YouTube, but we cannot guarantee that that's going to happen. We do prioritize $5 and up super chats, just because we have a huge influx of questions coming in. So it's just a way that we can kind of smooth out the process. If we have time towards the end of stream, we'll go back and read those super chats that are less than $5, but we do prioritize $5 and up so that we can get to the questions. Please do not repeat yourself over and over again. You can get timed out or even banned if you're going to continuously do that. A side note on that, with bits and super chats, you don't need to repeat your messages. I think that's still a little bit of a difference.
I was
with
frozen
YouTube,
today!
because even if your super chat gets unpinned, I've got a list. We will get to your question. You do not need to repeat it again. You're not going to get in trouble. I just feel bad if you spend another $5 to ask the exact same thing when we've got it. It's on the list. It's very, very rare it actually gets missed. But we do sometimes get up to like 45 minutes to an hour behind. So sometimes it may seem like it's forgotten, and really and truly it's just we haven't gotten there yet. Even now we've had the stream going for 5 minutes, and we haven't even started answering questions yet. And I can tell you, we have at least 20. So, yeah, we just get behind. Please, no spoilers. I haven't seen the latest episode of X-Men 97. Don't spoil it, chat, or any other movie or anything else out there. We generally like to wait at least like 3 months or so before we start tossing out spoilers for things. Watch the length of your questions. The longer it is, the faster I have to read it, the more likely it is we're going to lose the point. And then too bad, so sad, I don't have time to repeat it. That also applies to part messages. If you feel like you absolutely have to break up your message into multiple parts, please don't make it more than 3. Same kind of thing. We just lose the point then, and we don't have time. We don't have time to go back and clarify what the heck is going on. Okay. I feel like I missed something, but I don't know if I have.
Think we get them.
Yeah, because we can no longer check to see if someone else
Yeah,
asked
that's
your
what I was
question.
gonna go to.
Because
But nothing anymore.
I think we're good. So yeah, let's do it. That Disney nerd, thank you for the 500 bits. Good evening, Dougie Feet. Hi Heather, how y'all doing?
Good.
Oh God, Doug, you can't just put your feet on the internet for free. Oh, no one clip that. No.
I'll show you Chaplin's feet.
Oh yes, toe beans, please.
Toe bean. There's the little toe beans.
Toe beans. Oh, that's everything. Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on the film Gods and Monsters starring Ian McKellen as James Whale?
I gotta see it again because I remember when it came out, I had this criticism.
I was frozen
don't know
today!
if it would still hold it. If it would be more obvious now, or if like maybe it's not a thing now, but it seems so focused on his life as a homosexual and not as a filmmaker, anything else about his personal life. And I thought, well, that's a shame because he's this big talented filmmaker and everything. But on the other hand, that was such a big part, being closeted and stuff like that, not being able to tell people. Maybe that would take up like a lot of headspace and everything. So I don't know. I gotta see it again. Because I remember that kind of being an issue back then, but like maybe it would hit different now. I'm not sure. I gotta watch it again.
Ram, thank you for the 500 bits. So the second season of Velma was released, and it featured a certain character that, let's just say, people claim is now redeemed after what said character did to Velma in the show.
Okay. I'm assuming it's got to be Scrappy, but I don't know. I'm not gonna watch it to find out.
Good, 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 good. Hate watch is still a watch, everyone. That's why we got Velma season 2.
Right.
I'm just saying. If you don't want it, don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
The numbers don't care about if you're hate watching it or not. Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on the movie In Burgess?
I never saw that one, and that filmmaker makes some interesting stuff. So that's like one of the few I haven't seen, and I should check it out.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 500 bits. Got my ticket for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes tomorrow. With all positive buzz I've heard, it has me excited and anticipate to be another good or great entry into the franchise.
Yeah, I guess I'm hearing it's a good IMAX movie too.
Ooh.
So when I see it, I'm gonna try and see it on IMAX.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Which film do you prefer, the original Jumanji or Zathura?
Um, I guess Jumanji makes a little bit more sense. I think I like the effects in Zathura a little bit more, and maybe some of the characters. But yeah, I think I like the freakiness of Jumanji. I do like it's got a little bit of a mean spiritedness with some of the the traps and monsters and stuff. So yeah, I guess I'll say Jumanji.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. You said you don't like the Superman Legacy teaser image. Why don't you like it? I really like it because it's both cool and simple at the same time. A giant eye is attacking the city and he's just putting on his costume like he's going to work.
The idea is cute. Like, oh, you're going to show the first image of Superman as him just putting on his, costume in like what looks like a crappy apartment and stuff like that. Like, oh, that's kind of like purposefully anticlimactic. But like the suit itself looks like kind of like pajamas, which I know is what Superman's suit kind of looks like, but it looks like bad cosplay. And I'm just like, no, that can't be what the suit looks like. And I kind of blame the picture that I can't really make it out. So
it's not really a good view of the actual suit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he looks just like Henry Cavill. Again, like maybe the body type's a little different, but aside from that, he's like exactly the same. So I mean, he looks the part. Yeah, it's not something where I'm like, oh, it's gonna be awful. It's more just the image itself I thought was awkwardly shot. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next picture that comes out.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Ever wonder what was going on in 1985 as it was being altered from the 50s in Back to the Future? I can't be the only one who's brought this up, but it's pretty funny to imagine Marty's siblings walking around with no heads like they showed in his photo.
I was frozen today.
I never thought about that. Yeah, because you're right. You see his hand disappearing and stuff like that. Maybe just their heads were bad. I love that thought. I never thought about that. I love it. I want to see that in between. Yeah, Back to the Future 1.5, maybe.
Smash Ultra, thank you for the 119 NOK through Super Chat. What does cartoons like Powerpuff Girls, Kim Possible, Danny Phantom, Jake Long, Ben 10, Atomic Betty, El Tigre, Word Girl, and Power Rangers have in common? Superhero kids fighting evil adults. What's up with that? Oh, that's actually, so Teacher Heather here, putting on her teacher cap for a second. It's a way for kids to be able to see themselves in those roles. And a lot of times when you're a kid, what's the worst thing in the world? Your parents telling you no. Who's the people that you think have all the power? The adults.
The 80s and 90s, late 80s and the 90s exploit this to no end. Every commercial was anti-authority, anti-parents, anti-teachers, anti-grown-up pretty much, and loved it, which I think is fine. It's like, just let the kids have fun, let them be rebellious and stuff like that. And I think I know where it started. It started with He-Man, because they said the way they got the line, I have the power, is that they would watch kids and they would say that's what they want. They want power. They want control. They were sick of being told what to do. So I think it was kind of that onward. So yeah, that's definitely a theme in a lot of that.
Jimmy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Which first viewing experience stuck with you the most, and why is it Freddy got fingered?
Weirdly, I don't watch that one, and because I will go back and watch some of the first viewings. I like watching some of those because it's fun just remembering, our reactions to a lot of that stuff. I'm trying to think. The Home Alone 2 one was pretty funny with just throwing like the bricks and how hard that was making us laugh. The one where we were legit getting drugged, me especially watching Green Lantern and Kangaroo Jack, that was pretty funny. Yeah, I know there's others, but I'm blanking on them. But yeah, no, I legit really like watching those.
Ymir Hades, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey guys, what place do you think PG-13 has in the film industry?
I mean, almost where it is right now. Like kind of like in between of like, okay, here's. I mean, I don't like that PG is now practically G. That's always what I call it now. So I like to see G come back and PG be a legit PG, if that makes sense. But I feel like R-rated movies are kind of trying to come back in a big way. And they've slowly been trying to ease it in more and more. So I like that. So maybe scale back PG-13 a touch more and get R in a little bit more. But yeah, and then like I said, I think PG should be like kind of modern day PG-13, honestly.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. My reaction to the Mufasa teaser. Actual expressions and vibrant colors. Take it away! But in all seriousness, it looks fine.
I mean, again, I haven't seen a good one yet, but it definitely looks better than the last one. I agree, having actual reactions is good. I mean, I like that it sounds like the director is hearing what the criticisms of the past movie and saying, okay, let's work with that. I think that's good. But I don't know, man. Like, I've come close to liking some, but I still haven't liked any of those remakes. Cruella I came close to, and Pete's Dragon I came close to, but I'm still not there yet. So who knows? Maybe Mufasa will be the first one, but unlikely.
Noah, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, would you consider reviewing the Defenders show like Daredevil and Jessica Jones for Disney-cember?
Yeah, I gotta see all of the other shows, though. That's the thing. I haven't seen. I starred them all, but I never did finish them. So I feel like I'd have to finish those first before I watch that. I hear it was good.
FBL, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen the trailer for the Medea parody movie called Not Another Church Movie? Thoughts?
No. Oh man, see, this is gonna be like one of those films where it's like, oh, that sounds like a great idea, but then I just, oh, Jamie Foxx is in it though. Yeah, these movies have been done so much though, and they're usually not good, but maybe this will be the one to turn around. I don't know. I haven't seen the trailer yet, but that kind of sounds like a good idea. It'd be fun if it was kind of a parody of like the church exploitation movies, kind of like what Brad did with Jesus Bro, but maybe it is. I don't know. I'm curious. I gotta watch that trailer later.
LPB the Actor, thank you for that 56-month subscription over on Twitch. Happy to be subbed to you guys for 56 months. Also, kneel before Chancellor Velorum, sorry, I don't know.
Oh, kneel!
Job, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey guys, just dropping in to tell you that it was such a blast for me and my mom to meet you all for the first time. You guys were the main reason we went to C2E2. Hope you get well soon from your fatigue and brain fog, Doug.
Oh yeah, it's I think I'm in for the long haul. I did get test results back and they were all negative, so the rheumatologist was pretty much saying, yeah, I don't think it's like an autoimmune thing or anything like that. She's speculating that I got COVID, I was asymptomatic, that's what spawned the shingles, and this is some sort of mutation of long COVID. We don't know for sure because we'd have to go through every other test to have them all be negative to suddenly be like, okay, well, it's got to be that, kind of thing. So I'm leaning towards them, debating whether or not I want to do more tests, but I'm like, I might just prepare for the long haul and just go with that.
Great Pretender, thank you for the 500 bits. Hi Doug, loved your Dragonheart review. Have you ever seen its direct-to-VHS sequel, Dragonheart: A New Beginning? This one had Robbie Benson of Beauty and the Beast fame as the dragon, and it was definitely a trip to get through.
No, I haven't seen. I know they made a couple direct-to-video sequels, but I haven't seen any of them. I'll try to check them out.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. Didn't mean to be harsh on Rob's thumbnails, but come on, even you admitted Superman 3 is a Photoshop cluttered mess. The Wish cover now looks fuzzy and dim.
Oh, see, I love the Wish one. That one I think is so much better than the one I have. No, I mean, like I said, it's different styles. I think like the Superman 3 one again is trying to. It's one you have to kind of look at to see what's going on. It isn't one where it's like on a phone gets your attention. It's more like when you click on it and you see the full picture, you see more of the stuff. So I don't mind the two styles, but no, the one he did for Wish, I really, really like. I like that one a lot.
Juliana, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you finished Boy Meets World?
I have. I liked it. I'm very torn on the dramatic stuff. I think they did it too much. And I know that's part of the style, part of the fun. A lot of people say it's kind of soap opera-ish and stuff like that. But when you're going to tackle that many things so consistently, you do kind of hit, special episode fatigue. And I feel like it doesn't give the actors time then to really prepare for how to make those scenes really, really hit. So it's kind of a flip of the coin if the dramatic scenes are really going to hit or not. But I mean, a good half of them do, and a lot of the comedy is still very, very funny. And I like it gets more and more surreal as it goes on. So yeah, I did all around enjoy it.
Rich B, thank you for the $10 super chat. Who was the worst evil Superman in Superman 3 or emo Peter in Spider-Man 3? So, okay, who was the worst? Evil Superman in Superman 3 or emo Peter in Spider-Man 3? Sorry, there was a lot of
if we're talking
words
about
in threes.
legit evil, we're just talking about lame. Probably emo Peter. It was lamer. Superman had that one good scene where he's like just kind of letting the people on the bridge, suffer while he's trying to hit on Lana, and that's a legit like kind of creepy scene. And then the fight between the two of them again is kind of a cool idea. Where with emo Peter, it's mostly just silly.
89, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, I want to ask you, between James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy movies and the Suicide Squad, which is your favorite? I was just curious.
I mean, if I got to combine them all, that feels weird. In terms of like the Guardian movies, I think Guardians 2 is probably my favorite. And then maybe the Suicide Squad would be under that, then the original Guardians, and then Guardians 3.
JL, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Thoughts about Danny Phantom, the series, also for it getting a manga series?
I've never seen that. I hear it's good. But yeah, I completely missed that one.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 500 bits. If any of these movies flopped, which one would be the worst for the superhero genre? Deadpool and Wolverine, Fantastic Four, or James Gunn's Superman?
For the genre, I guess I'd say Fantastic Four, because it'd just be a shame we would have never actually gotten a good Fantastic Four movie then. Honestly, in the one they're doing, I just want them to fight crime. It's so weird they haven't done that in a Fantastic Four movie. Maybe the Hammer one, but yeah, it's about the closest.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which character who starts off as an antagonist who later becomes good do you like more? Sasha from Amphibia or Hunter from Owl House?
Hunter's the boy, right? Let me double check. Yeah, no, there's Hunter. I think I like Sasha. Yeah, Hunter just didn't quite grab me that much. Like his backstory's interesting, but the actual character himself, it seems to just be his backstory, if that makes sense, whereas Sasha actually had like a character outside of her backstory. And I like seeing her kind of become that way. I thought that was pretty interesting. So yeah, I'll say Sasha.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, I would love for you to do an NC for Aliens in the Attic. It's a fun summer kids film that's gotten a little more recognition.
Yeah, someone brought that up before, so I think I might have on the list. I've never seen it, but it looked pretty weird, so I'll try to check it out.
Anthony, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, have you seen the new documentary on Food Fight called Rotten? It turns out the original hard drives were never stolen.
So I saw it recommended, and I think I started watching a little bit, like literally today, I started watching a little bit of it. I mean, I'm only like 2 minutes in, something like that. I think it's like something like 40 minutes or something like that. So, not yet, but, I like the little shout out. Thank you.
Samuel, thank you for the $5 super chat. In your review, what separates a truly great no dialogue scene from one that's just okay or good?
Man, I mean, just how well they do. I guess it kind of speaks for itself how much they get across the emotion without having to say anything. How much does that emotion hit? I still love we were talking about Spider-Man 3 earlier. The scene where the Sandman comes to life for the first time. I think that's an amazing moment. There's not even like that much going on, but the little bit about like him and his daughter and stuff like that. And I love when he tries to grab the little locket there and he can't. And there's just this, I mean, you can't even see eyes on this thing, but you just see his eyes kind of look sad and then just kind of look pained too. And it's like, oh man, they see him trying to focus to grab it and stuff. And it's just, I don't know. You really feel like it's this character that, was one thing and now is something different and is just really reborn, but still has the same pain as before. And all that's done through just the great music and the great imagery.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's a movie series where every film is at best okay and at worst forgettable? For me, it's Hotel Transylvania and Night at the Museum. Night at the Museum is a good one.
I've only seen the first of those, the Night Museum. I like a lot of the Hotel Transylvania, but I like the first two a lot. I've only seen the first movie. I remember liking it, and I hear the others are okay. So without having even seen them, it's like, yeah, probably that, I guess.
Kirok, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug. Hey, Heather. Always a pleasure. Doug, do you ever bring Kitty to cons? I want an autograph.
Oh, God, no, he'd be terrified. They both be terrified. Yeah, they don't even like being... They've gotten to a point now where they know when I'm gonna put him in the little carrier cage. And the usual tricks aren't working now. I used to use treats and stuff like that, and now they're just like, they're staying far, far in the other room. They know where to hide and stuff like that. I don't take them often, but after years of this, they finally learned.
Dorothy, thank you for the $10 super chat. Kiss, marry, kill. Minerva Mink, Jessica Rabbit, Betty Boop.
I mean, I guess kill the mink because that's just not my thing. Kiss Jessica because I mean, come on, that's gonna be good. And then marry Betty Boop. I think she's I think she's pretty cool. She'd be lovely to live the rest of my life with.
FBL, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on the movie Angel Heart?
Oh, I love it. That's a really cool film noir, like kind of a obscure but also kind of different style film noir. And what I like is that we used to watch it on VHS. It's actually a really good movie to watch on VHS, kind of that grindhouse style. But there is a very graphic love scene in there, and on the version we were watching, it was rewound so much by somebody else, it was from a rental store, that it was all scratched up.
Oh
by
my
that
gosh.
point, we're like, somebody watched this a lot.
JL, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Thoughts on Star Trek Next Generation series versus Picard?
I've never seen Picard. Everyone said it was awful until the end, where suddenly it got good. So I guess I'll just say Next Gen, even though I haven't seen Picard. But what I've heard of it, like the way people describe it, they're dropping the F-bomb everywhere and stuff like that. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. But I did hear it got better.
Noah Zinner, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, could we please get a clue for next week's NC review? Plus, will you make an untitled review for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes? I think is what
yes.
they meant.
I'm literally going to see it tomorrow. I'm going to try and see it in IMAX too. So I'll let you know how that goes. And a clue for that. Yeah, I didn't even think of a clue. It's got the word war in it. There you go.
Okay. Chase, thank you for the $10 super chat. OG Superman 3 with you annoyingly carrying Richard Pryor was perfect. Just like the first Galaxy Quest pick, your head was on an egotist actor, then your bro had you over a whiny actor. Oh, wait a minute, never mind.
I did like that one. I thought that one looked pretty funny, but again, I do like the different styles.
Super Guy, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm planning on making a fan animatic of your second movie, Suburban Nights. I'll show you when you come to Grand Rapids Comic-Con, Michigan. Thank you.
Cool. Good luck.
Sarah Gusta, thank you for the $20 super chat. What is your list of so bad they're good films?
I mean, I'm reviewing one right now, and for later. Man, what's another one? The Room's pretty great. why am I blanking on others right now? Boy, I don't know what. Oh, I haven't finished it yet, and it is bad, but we are fascinated watching it. Unfrosted is just so weirdly bad, but then it's weird because they will have legit like creative, funny moments in it, but then it'll just return to really bad. I mean, just like painfully bad, but it is also almost creatively bad. So I don't know. We watch it. Sometimes we'll laugh and then just be like, oh. I mean, like just pained, like, oh, and that was so insulting what they just did to us, but we can't stop watching it. It's like a magnificent child-friendly train wreck.
The Paisano Gamers, thank you for the $10 super chat. Just saw the new trailer for Twisters. Not the biggest fan of the original, but it looks like this movie has 0 divorce papers, so that should be a plus. What do you guys think?
I mean, it looks like Twister. It just looks like the same type of writing and characters and stuff. But now the effects aren't that, impressive anymore. I don't know. At the very least back then, I could be like, wow, look at that. Think about what we can do with this. And now I'm looking at what we could do with it. It's not that impressive anymore. It just doesn't look real. It doesn't look like anything's really there. So, yeah, I don't know.
I was frozen
that's
today.
one of those where it has to be like a so bad it's good movie for me to really, really like it. I'm not particularly excited, but I could be wrong. Could be great.
Leaf Blady, thank you for the $5 super chat. Can you look up Thunderbolt Fantasy Gifts and tell me what you think about what you see?
What was it? Thunderbolt?
Oh, you're actually going to do it. Okay. I would not trust someone from the internet. Thunderbolt Fantasy Gifts.
It looks like a puppet, I think, or is it like Thunderbirds? Is that what this is? Like samurai Thunderbirds? Weird. They're very nicely made. But yeah, that's about. I expected wackier. I mean, that is definitely strange, but I expected wackier and more perverted.
Jace, thank you for the $20 super chat. I'm back from Vegas. Good news, Doug. Vivian must know who you are since she was excited to hear about the Has-Been Hotel review that she will see. Also, you can do Hell of a Boss reviews by season just like Has-Been.
Yeah, I guess I could. I'd have to watch them again because it is funny. I forget if I said this on stream or not, but showing my wife the show because I feel like she would like it. And we got about 3 or 4 episodes in. There's one episode where like these angels are trying to convince this guy to go to heaven and the little devils are trying to convince him to go to hell and stuff like that. And she hated it so much that she hasn't gone back to the show because she found it so annoying. And it's one of those where I'm watching, I'm like, yeah, that one is pretty annoying actually. But so I'm gonna try and look ahead the next episode and see if I can get her back into it after we're done watching it.
I was frozen today.
But I really like that show.
Tristan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Could looking trailer called Twisters is a second Twister movie?
You said it.
I think you have. I think maybe they're asking if you've seen the trailer for Twisters.
Oh, yeah, it's not doing much for me, but who knows? Maybe it's a good film in there, but it's the effects and everything. It's just not grabbing me.
Frank, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's your opinion on the reboot Planet of the Apes trilogy, and do you plan to see Kingdom?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna see Kingdom tomorrow. I only saw the last one, and I did really enjoy it. I didn't see the other two. I don't think I'm gonna have time before I see Kingdom, but I don't think I need to. It seems like everything kind of was gotten across in the third one. But I still want to. I'll watch them at some point. But yeah, I don't think I'll be able to before I see Kingdom.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you prefer AJR or Maroon 5? I don't dislike either, but I would go with Maroon 5 for nostalgia. Oh, I like AJR.
Okay. I was gonna say it's like I know Maroon 5 was AJR. I don't think I've heard of AJR.
Really? You've never heard Bang? So put your best face on, everybody pretend you love somebody, come hang. Let's go out with a bang, 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 bang. No?
No.
Wow. That song was everywhere.
Man, I must have missed it. Yeah, I was waiting for it to get to a part I recognize. It's like, yeah, no. So I guess I'll say Yeah, Maroon 5.
All right. That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 500 bits. I finally decided to catch up a little bit on The Bad Batch a few days ago. I finished season 2, and in my opinion, it's not a very good season. It's slow, it's boring, the conflicts aren't that engaging. Hopefully season 3 is as good as I've heard. It is. I swear to God, season 3 is worth it. I agree season 2 is not that strong, but season 3 is worth it, okay? Just watch season 3. Season 2 is the least strong. So, just watch season 3.
It's always so tough when you get a show that, because with a movie, it's like, oh, get past the first 10 minutes or the second half gets really good. With a show, it's like, well, season 2 gets good. Well, the second half of the season, that's like so much to watch, and it's so hard to tell somebody. But it's like, yeah, if it's worth it, yeah, it usually is.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which character who starts off as a bully but later becomes a better person do you like more? Andrea from The Ghost and Molly McGee or Pacifica from Gravity Falls?
Pacifica has. So Andrea's a little bit more of a funny character, but Pacifica has a more interesting backstory. And it legit surprised me when I saw them try to change that character around. So I don't know. I guess I guess they're kind of the same for different reasons.
JL, thank you for the 1,000 bits. The kid from Zathura wants to play Spider-Man variant known as Josh Hutcherson.
What a twist!
Mark, thank you for the 10-pound super chat. Hello from the UK at 1 a.m. Been a fan since you had both glasses and hair. Why has the Stephen King film Needful Things never caught your eye? Big names, scenery-chewing performances, insane plot. It's NC Gold!
Did I think I saw that. Let me double check. Needful Things, that was it. Man, I want to say I legit can't remember if I saw this. I will say if I did, I remember it being pretty crazy. Yeah, man, maybe I didn't. Yeah, I'll put it on the list because I've heard a lot of people mention that's a pretty fun one.
Nathan, thank you for the $5 super chat. In honor of Happy Feet, what is the best Elijah Woods and Robin Williams film?
I mean, I'm assuming just on their own. I don't know how many they starred in together. I
was frozen
feel
today.
like with Elijah Wood, I gotta say Lord of the Rings. I mean, that's just like I don't know how you get around that. And Robin Williams, for performance, I really like him in I forget it's Insomnia or Insomnia. I think it's Insomnia. He's really great in that. But for best movie, man, I don't know. Fisher King, maybe? That's pretty good.
Chase, thank you for the $5 super chat. If you were the right age during the release of a Goofy movie, would you have had a crush on Roxanne? Personally, that dream sequence sold me pretty fast.
Maybe? I don't know. I guess, like...
You would have, Doug.
I'll just say yes. I mean, I guess, yeah, you're a growing boy. You're confused. You like cartoons. Yeah, I guess it's a given. I probably would.
Gary, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm going to be supportive to James Gunn and DCU because I'm doing the same thing and it's really difficult to build a universe.
It is.
I was
I agree.
frozen today.
Christian, thank you for the $5 super chat. Since you played Kingdom Hearts 1 through 3, which song from those games do you like? Simple and Clean, Sanctuary, Face My Fears, or Don't Think Twice?
What was the one in one of them was a good jam. I'm trying to remember what it was. Was it the beginning of 2? It was before the game started, you know. It's like the not the title screen or whatever, but you know, the opening graphics there, and whatever one that was, I remember being really good.
I think 2 is Sanctuary.
Yeah, man, that sounds right because I remember looking it up later. I think Sanctuary.
I'm a simple and clean girly. Nathan, thank you for the $5 super chat. What is the most recent best MCU movie that has come out that is not Spider-Man?
Most recent one? Is that what they're saying?
Yes, that has come out that is not Spider-Man. The most recent best MCU movie.
I gotta say, they just made so many. I want to see in order what they've made here. Let's see. Armor Wars. That's not even out yet. See, Mars, the Wolverine. Boy, it's bad. Oh, the last Black Panther I liked.
Oh, Wakanda Forever?
Yeah, and then before that, I liked the second Doctor Strange. Yeah, man, but there are quite a few misses here.
Icy, thank you for the $8 super chat. Can you do a Nostalgia Critic review of the first episode of the anime Goblin Slayer?
Never even heard of it. Probably not. Anime's not. I like anime, but I mean, it's not really my audience and stuff like that. I don't know how many people would click on. And B, Japan has different copyright laws, and they really like to throw copyright claims at us if we use A footage. So yeah, I mean, we can fight it and stuff like that. We usually win, but it's we usually don't get money from it, and we gotta make a living.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. Mara Wilson will be at a con I'm going to. If I can convince her to cameo for you in Matilda review for the 30th anniversary in 2027, would you be down for that?
Don't do that to her. She gets enough Matilda requests, stuff like that, and all that stuff. So no, I'm in contact with her. If I, want to reach out, I could. But yeah, I think she goes back and forth with that stuff sometimes, and I don't blame her, honestly. So yeah, it's something where I am so thankful she did what she did for with what was it, a Simple Wish and stuff like that. I'm good. I got my Mara Wilson fix. No, she gave more than enough than she needed to.
The Samurai, thank you for the $10 super chat. Would you consider doing an NC marathon of historical movies and or TV shows? I've been a fan of your show since 2008, and you don't seem to really touch historical stuff.
No, because I'm always afraid I'm gonna get something wrong. Only recently have I gotten into, I think it has something to do with when you turn 40. Have I gotten into history stuff? And it is interesting, but I know my memory on it is not that great, and I don't follow basic history that great and everything. My brother does. So if I ever need him for stuff, I can do that. But I like to review stuff I'm really passionate about and, know a fair amount about. And yeah, history, I'm getting more into it now. But yeah, I definitely did not grow up having that much of respect for it. Like an idiot, but also like I think a lot of young people do.
Paisano Gamers, thank you for the $10 super chat. I know I'm late to the party, but I finally gave in and started to binge Parks and Rec. Friends have been bugging me for so long to watch at season 4 so far, and I think it's better than The Office. Thoughts?
I agree. I never really got into The Office. I respect it fine. I kind of respect what it started and everything. Obviously, it's a good cast and everything, but I just never got that into it. Parks and Rec is more my speed, more my cast, more my comedy. And that's another one of those where I remember it not starting off great. And I thought, oh, this is terrible. But my wife kept watching. I'm glad she did, because by the time it got to season 2, I'm like, the show is awesome. I did that thing where I'm like, okay, well, that joke was good. Okay, well, that character's cool. Okay, well, that episode was good. And that just kept growing more and more. And I'm just like, oh, shoot, this is really, really good.
JPith, thank you for the $4 super chat. Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. You say that a lot of the shows you watch for Disney December have weak first seasons, but then get better. Which show that you have watched do you think had the weakest first season?
Maybe Rebels. That was a pretty rough first season. I'm sure there's another one that had even worse than that. Rebels wasn't the worst. It was just rough, but like I said, it got pretty good. I guess I'll go with that for now. I want to say there's another one, but yeah, I can't think of it.
Disney Knowledge, thank you for the 500 bits. Doug, I need to point out some mistakes that you've made in some of your reviews. On Deadly Ground, while that was Erwin Kirshner, he didn't direct Dreamcatcher. That was Empire Strikes Back writer Lawrence Kasdan.
No, you're right. And like all the comments are filled with that. What drives Rob crazy is he knew that. He's the one that pointed out, I got the names backwards, and he watched it, he liked it. And again, he just kind of heard the other name in there. And it wasn't until he read the comments, he was like, what? No, he didn't. He got that right. And then he went back and watched it and went, ah! So yeah, we both missed it.
FBL, thank you for the 500 bits. Idea for Nostalgiaween. Does The Exorcist still hold up? Because I feel like it may be a little campy by today's standards.
I don't know, man. I'll say this. When they re-released it, the kid swearing got a lot more laughs than scares. But But then when it gets to the cross scene, everyone shuts up. Everyone's suddenly like, we're in this movie now. We are in this room, and this is terrifying, kind of thing. So Brad did a really good review of it. Brad Jones and the Snob, he did a good review of it years ago, and I think did a pretty good job. But no, I think it very much holds up, and that's the only thing when they re-released it that I noticed audiences were kind of snickering at, like, she's just saying all these words you don't usually hear a kid say. But yeah, as soon as that scene hit, that's when people shut up.
JL, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Which Home Alone is your favorite, 1 or 2? Because 2 is my favorite when Kevin eats the ice cream scene.
1, I mean, by far. 2 does have some really good laughs in it. Tim Curry is great in it. I just love the dumb brutality of throwing the brick. That's just so stupid and lazy, but I love it.
At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. Can we get a clue for next week's NC? Blink twice if it's Madam Web.
It has war in the title.
Disney Knowledge, thank you for the 500 bits. In your Land Before Time video, you said how Dimitri learned to fly instead of Petrie. Wrong Don Bluth film.
I'm trying to think who Dimitri's from. Dimitri's from
Anastasia.
That's right. There's too many Etries.
FBL, thank you for the 500 bits. What's the best example of a movie rated PG that should have been rated G, and a movie rated G that should have been rated PG?
The original Haunting is G, which surprised me.
No way.
The original Planet of the Apes, all the way up to, I think, the 4th one, are all G.
Wow.
Which is astonishing to me. Because there's like swearing, there's people getting lobotomized, there's people getting shot left and right, so that's very odd. Yeah, and honestly, nowadays, just about every PG movie.
Right, a lot of the Disney ones, like, why is Frozen PG?
Why is Inside Out is the one where I'm like, no, there is literally nothing here at all. Sing 2, that's the other one I go to when I need to find something, and it's like rudeness. Like, that's what counts. You need the parents in the room, there's rudeness.
Chase, thank you for the $10 super chat. With 2035 10.5 years away and the real threat of AI in Hollywood to the point it caused a movement last year, I can't think of a better time to review iRobot for the 20th anniversary than this year.
All right, so if you want the real clue to what next week's review is, let's just imagine for a second that I've had real bad brain fog and I get things backwards and stuff like that. And maybe the war one is the week after that. And maybe something else is next week. So I had no other hints outside of that. But yeah, it was an interesting question yesterday.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. My animation studio, Restaurant Parallel, Disney, Ma and Pa, Pixar, Gordon Ramsay, DreamWorks, Offbeat Bar, Illumination, a fast food joint.
Oh, okay. So it took me a while. See,
it took me a second reading it to understand as well.
Okay. No, that's fun. I think that.
Disney Knowledge, thank you for the 500 bits. In your Country Bears video, you said how Barry listened to 9 Inch Nails and Limp Bizkit, but that side of the room belonged to his human brother, Dexter.
That I legit didn't know. Okay, maybe they have the same taste in music, though. You don't know. Maybe he lent him some of those posters.
No one, thank you for the £5 super chat. Just wondering, how come you have avoided Kubrick on the channel? I think there's a lot to talk about, for example, 2001 or Clockwork Orange.
Well, okay. Clockwork Orange, I think that speaks for itself why I'm not reviewing that on YouTube. I can't review Indiana Jones because, the Nazi symbol on there, it could get the video hit. So what the hell am I going to do with Clockwork Orange? But I do love Kubrick. I did talk about Eyes Wide Shut in a video once. I sort of talked about, why it really has, relevance to me and why I think it's a very important movie. Yeah, it's another one where it's like, I guess I could talk about it, but it's another one where it's like, I don't know if I'm going to offer anything that new. I mean, they've been talked about so much, and I just feel like there's nothing I can really bring. Eyes Wide Shut was the closest to bringing up something where I'm like, all right, well, this might be a little different from what people are saying. But yeah, I'm just going to be repeating what everybody says about them, I think.
The Samurai Hobbit, thank you for the $5 super chat, specifically war stuff.
Oh, that's not the movie, no.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. I know you really like Thomas Hayden Church, so I was wondering, what did you think of him in Wings?
Oh, I liked him. I thought it was very, very fun. I mean, that's my introduction to him, honestly. Um, yeah, he just has a very strange way of delivering his lines and everything. Even in Tombstone, I loved him in there, man. Yeah, everything he said, he's usually pretty good.
At movies, thank you for the 500 bits. What is your favorite Zeta Jones moment from the movie Chicago? Mine is the ending dance. Don't at me.
Let me see. I like when they find the diary, her and it's Queen Latifah, right? Yeah, find the diary and they just let out this little laugh, this little and that was great. I love that. And then I love when she takes the stand. They say you probably told the truth, the whole truth, help your guide. She's like, and then some. That was just so badass the way she said that.
Disney Knowledge, thank you for the 500 bits. Kiss, Mary, Kill, take on a cruise. Oh, Kiss, Mary, Kill, take on a cruise. Those are your choices, I guess.
Okay.
Of these bad female comedians: Mindy Kaling, Amy Schumer, Christy Swanson, Roseanne Barr.
Which ones? I'm blanking on Christy Swanson.
I don't know, and I'm glad you had to ask.
Let me see. Oh, I don't know this one. Okay. I guess take Christy Swanson on a cruise because that'd be the one where it's like, I don't know who you are, so let me find out who you are. It feels weird saying kiss with like real people. Wait, what? Kiss, Marry, Kill? Was that the other?
Yes.
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 Okay, and then the cruise. I don't know. Kiss Amy Schumer because I don't know. She's got to have stories or be into weird stuff. I don't know. What was it? Marry.
Mindy Kaling and Roseanne Barr are who you have
Oh,
left.
I'll marry Mindy Kaling. She's done some stuff I like, and then it doesn't. I guess Roseanne now I'm not a fan of, but man, back then she was so cool. She had like such her show is still like one of my favorite shows of all time. So I don't know. I would love to have an in-depth conversation before I kill her.
FBL, thank you for the 500 bits. Which is your favorite Christopher Walken moment? It's not over, Bears, or the pie monologue from Gigli?
Probably just Bears, because he's just so odd in that movie. The whole performance is just so odd that it just makes me giggle. Where I don't remember anything else in Gigli apart from that pie scene.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which sitcom main character do you like more, Sam from Cheers or Frasier?
Frasier. Even though he can be a little much, especially in the later seasons. But yeah, Rob and I always joked growing up that we were Frasier and Niles, and everyone always made jokes about it and stuff like that. And like deep down, we're like, yeah, we know it's just not. I mean, sometimes we talk about opera and stuff. But I mean, it's like mainly just geek stuff. Like we're the exact same way with that.
FBL, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on the movie Barton Fink?
I like it. I don't know if I like it as much as like a lot of people do, but I do like it's hard to figure out. Yeah, just that it's just a regular movie until halfway through where it just turns into something completely different. I kind of love that too. So yeah, I don't know. I really like it. It's not one of those that has like a hold on me, you know what I mean? But we do quote several lines from it.
Channel name, thank you for the $5 super chat. Given that Doctor Who is now a Disney Plus series and it's intended to be a jumping on point for new fans, potential Disney Semper candidate?
Oh, there's way too many. I've heard great things about Doctor Who, and I believe I've seen a couple of episodes, and they're awesome. But yeah, I just do not. That's another one of those like Dragon Ball and stuff like that, where it's like I just don't have the time, even though I would love to watch them. That's gonna have to be something like after I retire, doing YouTube and everything, or at the very least retire doing the NC.
Disney Knowledge, thank you for the 500 bits. If you haven't seen it, look up on YouTube a commercial from the 50s that has Alice, voiced by Catherine Beaumont, and two characters that didn't make the film, the Mock Turtle and the Griffin, advertising Jell-O. It's interesting to see what they could have been like.
Huh. Okay. I'm assuming it's a Disney commercial too. That does sound interesting. I will look that up.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. Who's the best DreamWorks couple, Shrek and Fiona or Hiccup and Astrid? The former's more iconic, but I love the arc the latter goes through.
I can see that. I like Shrek and Fiona. I guess if you have to count all the films, though, they're still okay. I really like what they go through in the second one, because it's like everyone agrees like the moral in the first film is really great. So how do you kind of do that again or do something that's kind of on par with that? And I thought their way of working with that was pretty clever. And again, really kind of brings them even closer together as a couple.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. You can still do the Beverly It joke for Superman 3. You've edited videos, so adding jokes in a re-upload is fine.
The Beverly what? I'm sorry.
The Beverly It joke from Superman 3?
Beverly It joke. I'd have to go back and see. I don't remember it, but it also does stuff to like whenever we try to when we edit out something, that's usually okay, or like have to mute something against some sort of stupid copyright claim thing. But adding something in there is trickier because then you have to like take it down, put it back up, and that just messes with the whole algorithm and everything, which is already a pain to work with. So yeah, probably not gonna happen. Whatever the joke is, I don't remember it.
King Casual, thank you for the $10 super chat. Would you ever consider reviewing the original Mobile Suit Gundam movie trilogy? It was revolutionary, the original show anyway, and I think you'd like it if you gave it a shot. The latter two, anyway. I didn't pay them to ask this.
No, even before I met you, I've heard really good things about both the show and the movies. It doesn't look like my thing, but it had to be after I watch Dragon Ball and Doctor Who and all that other. So you know what I mean? Like those are more top of the list when I finally, retire, whatever. But I'm not against watching it, because I've heard really good things about it.
What up, JD? Thank you for the $5 super chat. Hi, Doug. Hope you're doing well. There's a documentary on YouTube called Rotten about the production of Food Fight, and gosh, it is heck of an eye-opener.
Yeah, I started watching it. I haven't gotten that far yet, only a few minutes in. But yeah, the second one to bring it up, so I will try to watch more.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of President Business from the Lego Movie? Do you think he's a good villain?
Yeah, when they reveal what he is, if that makes sense.
Yes.
I thought that was very, very clever. And that whole movie is so clever. And I feel like just opened up the door for how to do, and not just product movies, but just like sort of franchise movies, whether it's based on a toy or existing story already and stuff like that. I really think that opened the door for just a totally new way of looking at how you can tell these stories that have a bunch of different interpretations of it, or sort of a legacy to it.
Disney Knowledge, thank you for the 500 bits. This is part 1 of 2. So copyright law is badly broken around the world, and originally the founding father had it as 14 years with an optional another 14 years for 28 total. That was just part 1.
All right.
Disney Knowledge, thank you for the 500 bits. This is part 2. I think it should just be 30. That, in my opinion, would be the perfect amount of time for a studio or person to make their money off a product, even if it isn't a hit the first time around, and then it becomes public domain. Would you agree with that, Doug?
The artistic side of me is like, yeah, come on, just give it to the people. Let them, do what they want with it and stuff like that. The business side of me legit does not know. Because there is something to like, yes, that character is yours. You create it, you hold on to it for however long you can hold on to it and stuff like that. It's always your baby and stuff like that. And you want to make enough money at that it can, you can make a living out of it. But what if like it doesn't happen until years later and stuff, and then the copyright's going to expire? I don't know. This is where my non-business mind it doesn't help the situation at all. Artistically, yeah, I like as soon as it's made, you can kind of do whatever you want with it. But in terms of making, a living at it, money at it, and stuff like that, I'm not sure. I'm not smart enough to answer that question.
Nick Oswald, thank you for the 500 bits. What's one movie from these 3 directors that you'd love to do an NC review on? Christopher Nolan, J.J. Abrams, Tarantino.
Tarantino is, yeah, that's one where it's like, I like his movies. I can't think of too much commentary I can give to it. Again, they kind of speak for themselves. Nolan I talked about a lot, I feel like, with like the Dark Knight movies and stuff like that. And I feel like I can always get a lot of good jokes out of. And Abrams, I always remember his shows more than the movies. Obviously, he has the Star Wars ones. But so I guess I've talked about his movies too. Probably Nolan, because there's a part of me that's like, as Cosmonaut Variety Hour says, he's a Nolan naysayer, but he's also really fascinated by him too. Like when it works, man, does it work? And it works so well. And when it doesn't, man, it's just so obvious why it doesn't. And it's weird that so many people defend what obviously doesn't work about it sometimes. But man, stuff like Oppenheimer and Dark Knight and stuff like that are just so good. And, like always going to stay with me.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which movie do you think did the mother-daughter relationship better? Turning Red or Brave?
Turning Red. Brave is kind of a very meh throughout the whole film, where I feel like Turning Red isn't my thing, but it's like I can see an audience like it fine. And then at the end, it just goes like super great, like some of the best Pixar's ever made. And I like too that they tie it into the generations before that mother and daughter. I thought, and they're still there too. You can see the reaction that it's having on them, and it's passed down and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, all of that was just handled so well, I thought.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. Choose between these 3 epic pop rock ballads: Hey Jude, Stairway to Heaven, or Purple Rain.
This is just a personal
I was
preference.
frozen
I
today.
really do like Hey Jude.
Hey Jude, yeah.
Yeah, it's very big, but it's like, I don't know. There's an uplifting feel to it as well. I'm always in a good mood whenever I hear it.
Warden, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Doug, I have to know, is there any chance at all you'll appear in Smiling Friends at some point?
If they asked, I would not turn it away. I would definitely be open to it.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. The reason Cobra Kai has CW drama now is because season 3 and beyond was made by Netflix when they bought the series from YouTube in 2020. It's not the same.
Okay. Wait, so is season 3 still the original people, or was that Netflix by that point?
I think Netflix is started season 3. I think there's only
Okay.
2 seasons that are YouTube seasons.
Okay, no, that makes sense, because the end of season 2, I know a lot of people love it, and I see why. I thought it was a little too crazy, like, that was just a little too over the top. But season 3, I think, is when I started it, and I actually stopped watching it for a while. I'm like, oh, this is too cringy. I can't watch it. But then everyone told me to keep going. I'm like, all right, no, this is still fun. This is still good. There's a lot of good stuff to it. But yeah, there was a corniness, but also kind of a mean-spirited rawness to those first 2 seasons that somehow seemed like genuine. And like a guy at the gym, I asked, have you seen it? He's like, yeah, no, it's way too Dawson's Creek for me. It's way too CW. And I'm just like, what is he talking about? When I got to season 3, I saw what he was talking about. So I still like it. I think it's good, and it is very entertaining. But and this is the route I feel like this would inevitably go. But yes, I feel like nothing's really gonna top that first season and a good chunk of the second season.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen the movies Cool Hand Luke with Paul Newman or My Favorite Year with Peter O'Toole?
I've heard of Cool Hand Luke, but I've never seen it. I never even heard of the second one. I gotta check them both out.
Disney Knowledge, thank you for the 500 bits. What's really sad about Dragonheart is the original planned version that was first written was taken apart by the studio, read the novelization the screenwriter put out, which is what he originally wanted to do. The dragon was at first going to be a Jim Henson Creature Shop animatronic, but Jurassic Park came out and botched that idea.
Yeah, I did hear about the Jim Henson thing. I didn't know there was a novel of the original story. That's interesting. I want to check that out.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of the Star Trek The Next Generation episode where Picard visits his brother and has a breakdown over his experience with the Borg?
Oh, that works for a number of reasons. I think there's so many things you could read into that. No, and good acting from Stewart too. Very, very well done. Yeah, no, and there's something I like when someone has to get over something. A lot of times when they do this, appropriately so, it's usually like in a very dark place, like they're in a, in a very dark location, like they're in a dark place, psychologically and stuff. But that he's in a very nice place. It's a very pleasant, non-threatening place. But also there's somebody that is kind of threatening there, his brother and stuff. And it's this tough conflict of two things: this very pleasant place and someone who should be a pleasant person, with this incredibly unpleasant experience, this thing that's traumatized him. And I don't know, it felt bizarrely real for a show where people can beam aboard spaceships and stuff like that. I thought it was very, very well done.
Lord Flanus, thank you for the $5 super chat. What movie made you want to become a movie critic?
Man, I don't know. I feel like And my brother and I, especially, we've just always talked about movies. We've talked about what we liked about, what we didn't like about it. I have a compilation of like old film trailers and even like sort of like movie what's what I'm looking for? Like theater bumpers and stuff like that, like general cinemas and stuff I edited together because it does bring back memories of like even just watching trailers and sort of being like leaning over to my brother and saying like, if I thought that was going to be good or well that scene was cool, that might be good because of this scene. That like we're already critiquing like the trailers before the movie even comes out. So yeah, I don't know if there is just one movie. I've always kind of been doing it.
Leprechaun Farmer, thank you for the $10 super chat. Besides Sleepwalkers, what are some other films you knew next to nothing about going in, which just made them all the more entertaining? For me, it was the Evil Dead trilogy and Buckaroo Banzai.
I mean, I don't know if entertaining is the word, but more fascinating. Like, I think Freddy Got Fingered, was one. That awful Nutcracker 3D. I just always heard something about it connecting to like we're again without getting in trouble on YouTube, World War II. And I'm trying to think of others that like Unforgiven. I didn't know anything about. I loved that movie going in knowing nothing. Cabin in the Woods is another one where everyone's always like, don't let anyone tell you anything, and it's like they're right. It's better going in just not knowing a thing about it.
Tristan, thank you for the $2 super chat. Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. This is part 1 of 2. I'm glad somebody recommended the Infamous games to you. It's the first game where your choices determine your appearance and people's perception of you.
Infamous games?
Yeah. Someone recommended them to you a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. I just binged the Knuckles show, and oh boy, it is one of the craziest Sonic properties ever, and that is saying something.
All right. I mean, honestly, the trailer kind of looked fun for what it was. So yeah, I don't have a way to watch it now, but maybe down the line it will.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. This is part 2 of 2. Interestingly, the concept of good and evil character choices was almost an epic Mickey. Using paint kept you good, using thinner made you evil. It was rejected because Mickey Mouse is not evil, right?
They could have played around with it. Come on, evil Mickey would have been pretty cool. I feel like we've seen bits of that, like what's that Runaway Brain and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I think the idea of an evil Mickey is such a chilling idea. I mean, I know we always make jokes about like Disney, the evil corporation. We give Mickey the evil eyes and stuff like that. But I mean, like in a story, actually having like an evil Mickey or having him turn evil, I think that'd be so chilling because we do associate him with being so chipper and happy and innocent and everything that's positive. So I think that would be very chill. I think they should do it just to show what an impact that positive a character does have on people. I think that'd be really interesting.
That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 500 bits. Which movie was so bad you enjoyed it more? Supergirl or Greatest Showman? And why is it Greatest Showman? This is the greatest show.
Oh, that's rough. I will say I've watched Supergirl more, but I think it's because I had to review it. But I've listened to Greatest Showman more. Greatest Showman. You know what? I laughed harder at Supergirl when something crazy happened. I laughed so hard, but I laughed more consistently at Greatest Showman. I had just such a fun time with how crazy it was.
Epic Kebster, thank you for the $5 super chat. Yo, Doug, have you seen the Knuckles show yet? And if so, what are your thoughts?
I have, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to see it. I don't have Paramount Plus, and yeah, I'm already behind on some of the other things.
The Paisano Gamers, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you guys seen Ghostbusters Frozen Empire yet? I don't understand why this movie is rated lower than Ghostbusters 2016. I got a kick out of it.
No, the big thing I hear is that there's too much going on. There's too many characters and stuff like that, which I thought the last one already kind of had too many characters. So I'm not looking forward to that, but I do want to see it. I've seen all the other movies, so I do want to check it out. I'll probably see it when it comes out to streaming.
JL, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Ever seen the movie The Founder?
Yeah, it's a little cartoony, and I don't think it needed to be. Some of the performances are a little over the top, some of the directing is, but the story is fascinating. And yeah, the speech he gives at the end is like forever up here. And I don't quite know why. It's such a funny, but in a weird way, like kind of chilling moment. Why he took the McDonald's from them and stuff, and why it had to be theirs and stuff like that. I can't say why it is. I can't say why it's such a chilling scene to me, but there is something like legit both kind of funny and maybe because I can so identify with what he's talking about as someone that also believes in like branding and marketing and stuff like and the importance of it and stuff like that. When he talks about it, I'm like, oh, I know what he's talking about, and I don't like that I know what he's talking about.
FBL, thank you for the 500 bits. Favorite Tom Hanks movie?
Man, I have to look at a list of them because you made so many. I think I may have to go with League of Their Own. I really, really like that one. Maybe Big would be a close second, but yeah, I'll go with that. I mean, that's another one we just quote left and right all the time. League of Their Own.
Ruben Hall, thank you. Oh, sorry. Wow, my brain just my lips and brain were just like burp. Ruben Hall, thank you for becoming a member over on YouTube. Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. What film was so bad you walked out? Holmes and Watson was mine after 5 minutes of a masturbation joke. I waited 10 more minutes before leaving to see Aquaman.
There's two. I walked out. I walked out of the remake of The Haunting, and then I mean, these aren't like the worst movies, but I was just like, no, I can do better things with my time. The second Zorro movie with Antonio Banderas, which is ironic because they both have Catherine Zeta-Jones, which you think that would keep me in the theater, and I would end up watching them again anyway for Nostalgia Critic.
Kenny, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hi, Doug. How are you? This is my first time in this chat with you. I want to tell you thank you for understanding. I get the same treatment as you got with Doug because of South Park, because their name is Kenny.
Kenny. Oh, okay. Ooh, I don't envy the beat ups that must have come with that. We're killing Kenny. But yeah, no, no fun. You know, I talked to the daughter of the creator of Doug, and she said, "Yeah, you're not the only one. He's heard that a lot about the name Doug." And she was very, very sweet. He looks like a really, really sweet guy. So yeah, it sucks to go through, but at the same time, it's like it's usually not their intention.
Kevin Lane, thank you for becoming a member over on YouTube. Who's seen the Fallout series? I have. Tamara has. Have you? Did you finish it?
Oh yeah. Oh, I
yeah.
Loved it. You know, without going into spoilers, I thought the ending
today.
had a little bit more of a punch.
Okay.
Like everything I just kind of thought would happen or roundabout would happen kind of happened. I thought there'd be a little bit more of a surprise, but yeah, I'm curious to see where it's going to go, what they're going to do with it and stuff like that. And it does make me want to play the games. So I think that's a good thing.
Craggy Omega, thank you for the $10 super chat. Just wanted to say thank you for your review of Felix the Cat all those years ago. Saw it as a kid in the 90s, and that animated atrocity still haunts me. From that single review, I was a lifelong fan.
Yeah, that was man, was that weird. A lot of weird choices made in that one.
Bo, thank you for the 100 SEK through Super Chat. What's your worst Pixar movie?
Worst Pixar movie? Maybe Cars 2? Lightyear was pretty bad, though.
I never watched Lightyear.
It's just...
I thought I'd save myself the hassle.
Yeah, you're really not missing anything. I mean, most of them are pretty good. They have a pretty good track record. Yeah, I guess a toss-up between Lightyear and Cars 2.
Chris, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey guys, curious if you'll ever cover some of the short-lived action 80s and 90s shows like Sequest DSV, Covington Cross, Misfits of Science, or My Secret Identity.
Boy, the only one of those I know is Sequest. We did watch that show until it got really bad. It's another one that just, like, after a season or two, got really, really lame. But yeah, that's another one. Like, watching shows is a lot more difficult because there's a lot more of them. I'm already doing a couple for like Disney December and stuff, so yeah, it's unlikely. But I remember for the first like maybe season of Sequest liking it, but I also haven't seen it since it came out.
House of Fur, thank you for the $5 super chat. Please review the Drawn Together movie.
I remember seeing the show. I don't think I've seen the movie. Maybe, although that's another one that probably for the jokes in there, I don't know if we could get them past on YouTube nowadays, but I'll look into it.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. Did you hear about the personal struggles Ahmed Best and Jake Lloyd went through after Phantom Menace?
Who's the, is Ahmed is that Jar Jar?
I think that's Jar Jar, yeah.
Okay. Yes. that is really a shame.
Yes.
Definitely. As much as we poke fun of like a performance or a movie or stuff like that, I'm not saying I always succeed, but I try not to make it personal or anything where it's like, go get them, folks, kind of thing. Like, I don't want, I'm trying to review, the art form as is, kind of thing. And that is one of the reasons why. I mean, especially if you're young and everything, that can really mess up a lot. But that's also something you have to know going in too, which at the very least the parents have to know, is that there's so much hardships that can come with that going into acting as a child actor. And man, if the kid's not ready, at the very least the parents have to be ready to help them through that, because it is very, very difficult. At the very least, I heard the guy who played Jar Jar, like he seemed to not only did he have a good sense of humor about later, but he did turn things around to be like more positive and everything. I think he has like a family now and stuff like that. And that's good. He seems to have made peace with it, which is really, really good. Jake Lloyd, I don't know. I haven't heard from him in a while in terms of what he's been up to, but hopefully it's good.
FBL, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on the Borderlands trailer?
I thought it looked fine, but I don't know much about the game. Like everyone said, it looked like what's the name of that director? The guy who's directing it.
I was
I don't
chosen
know,
today.
I'm sorry.
I found Borderlands director Eli Roth. That's Eli Roth
okay.
trying to do James Gunn. I guess they said James Gunn was originally on there. They're right. That's what it looks like. But Eli Roth imitating James Gunn could be fun. I'd be curious to see what that's like.
Brandon, thank you for the $2 super chat. Smoked Kilbasa, thank you for the $5 super chat. I wanted to review movies myself like Doug, but I decided against it. Now with the lazy reviews I see from other people now, my confidence is up.
Well, I am quite lazy, so I'm so glad I could inspire you with that. But yeah, I mean, I always say do it because you love it.
Yeah.
If you're doing it for the likes and the shares and to get attention and stuff like that, even if you get it, you're not going to be happy. You really want to do it because you would be doing it even if nobody was watching. So if it becomes something, great. If it doesn't, well, that's what you'd be doing anyway. So you win either way. Just make sure it's what you really, really want to do.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. If you were the right age during the release of a Goofy movie, would you have had a crush on Roxanne? I think they just didn't realize it was a repeat.
Well, yeah, see previous answer. Probably.
Captain Wolf, thank you for the $5 super chat. For Disney-cember, please review Valiant. It's a World War II children's animated film with Tim Curry. There's a dark scene that I won't spoil.
That's another one of those where I think every year I start it, and then something happens where I can't finish it, and then like another something lands in my lap where it's like, oh, but this would be more interesting than Valiant, so I kick it aside. So I feel like I've started that movie about 3 or 4 times. So gosh darn, I should finally finish it. So yeah, if not this year, hopefully next year.
Ruben Hall, thank you for the $5 super chat. Has there ever been a film that influenced you in a way that you don't think was intended? For example, Call Me By Your Name inspired me to work out.
I mean, that's always kind of the cooler ones when you're not even aware it's staying with you. Even sometimes that's why I really like pointing out like a good scene in a bad movie, because a good scene can still stay with you and really have a big impact. I was just talking about the ending of The Founder, that speech at the end for why he took it. Still stays with me, and I'm just like, yeah, and I don't even know why it fully stays with me, and I find that stuff really interesting. So I'm sure there are a lot of moments like that. I mean, too many to count. Yeah, and I guess I'll go with the Founder one again because it's fresh on the mind.
Rancy Gaming, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Doug, did you see the massive Disney leak that happened a few weeks back? I would have loved to watch Shred Force.
No, I actually missed that. I will say this too, whenever I hear like a leak or something like that, I'm like, I don't want to see that because I'm not supposed to see that. I know the creative process and everything. You're still working it out and trying to figure stuff out, but it's like, so people are going to judge something. It's like, but it's not finished. I guess that's what happened to the Batgirl movie. Warner Bros. Saw it and said, this is terrible, get rid of it. And Brendan Fraser was saying, Well, yeah, it's terrible, but it's a first edit. The first
Yeah.
edit is always awful. Like nothing's together. You go in and you make it even more tight, and you add the effects and everything. So yeah, I mean that's just kind of a famous thing everybody knows. The first edit is always bad. So I don't like looking at leaked material for that.
Maryland Wolves, thank you for the $5 super chat. Could we get an NC review of Garzy's Wing, a movie created by the Gundam guy Tomino himself? It's so bad that is great, including the dub, which is so bad.
Again, probably not A. That's not really my audience, even though I like anime. But I mean, you need more an anime expert on that, I say. And then also, just the copyright laws in Japan are very different, and they'll probably throw a lot of copyright strikes and claims at us and stuff like that. And it's no fun.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the $10 super chat. Improv exercise at a wedding. There's a heated game of how well do you know the groom? The question, what was your spouse's job in Berlin, sends you down a rabbit hole of conspiracies and deceit.
She was a chef.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Powell position.
Oh, pole position. Oh, no.
Okay.
Actually, the way I probably say it in there is my pole position. So I can see that.
Japeth, thank you for the $5 super chat. I know this is one of your favorite movies, so I finally sat down and watched Fearless. And my first word right after it ended, whoa.
Yeah, that ending, that's almost like instant tears for me. It is really hard to get me to tear up at a movie or a show or anything, and that's one where it's just like, yeah, watching that ending is you really feel like you're in between worlds there.
Excuse me. Nathan Cody, thank you for the $5 super chat. If you end up making it to this point in the live stream, Heather heard your bang AJR performance. You have a great singing voice. Thank you.
She does?
I appreciate that. Thank you. Kevin Lane, thank you for the $10 super chat. In your review of Brave, you should have made two jokes. One towards Clan MacGuffin, where you ask why everyone is looking for them, and one towards Clan Macintosh, where you ask how their business is doing.
Those are good. Damn it, those are really good. You're right, I should have made those.
Alex Loves Musicals, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on the Barbra Streisand movie Funny Girl?
Years ago, I saw it. I mean, like, I was a kid, and I just have some vague memories of it. So, like, I think I remember it being good, but I just don't remember it that well. Wait, you're a musical person, Heather. Have you seen it?
Oh, yeah. I went through a Funny Girl phase in high school where I knew all the songs, and I was like, I'm like Barbra Streisand.
Okay, all right. Maybe I'll check it out.
I had a moment with that movie. Or the musical, rather.
Yeah.
Andres, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hi, Doug. Sorry I missed seeing you at Midwest Gaming Classic. Do you have any plans to review the modern Sonic movies, or will you wait until Sonic 3?
I'll wait until, yeah, at the very least, it looks like they're done, which I'm assuming they'll be done with 3, but maybe not. Yeah, because I wouldn't mind. I'm definitely not doing them like one at a time because I know just people will just downvote the hell out of the first one because I didn't care for the first one. But I did really like the second one. I thought it was a lot of fun. So yeah, at some point I'll do them when I feel like they're all out.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. If Shrek 5 is happening, they should continue story beats, including his conflict with death, and use the same art style from Puss in Boots 2.
I don't know if the art style would make sense because I feel like that's specifically Puss in Boots now. If they want to do a new art style, maybe. And I don't know. A part of me is like, I don't want to see another Shrek, but at the same time, it's not like we ended on like a great no. Like 4 was okay. It was passable, I guess. So if they want to try and end it on a better note, at the very least, I'd be like, okay, well, that's like a good attempt. You know what I mean? I can see why they would do it, but I'm not. I don't know who's asking for it.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which movie based on a cartoon do you like more? The SpongeBob SquarePants movie or the Powerpuff Girls movie?
As a whole, I think I like the SpongeBob movie more, but there's moments from the Powerpuff Girls one that I like a lot. Anything with the villain in Powerpuff Girls, I remember really liking, like him just, getting the monkeys out and the evil plan, and when they're taking over the town, and like all that stuff is pretty fun to me.
Disney Knowledge, thank you for the 500 bits. While I would love to see you cover Piglet's Big Move for Disney-cember, or Big Movie, rather, for Disney-cember, I'm also nervous you wouldn't like it because the music is by Carly Simon doing the soundtrack like Phil Collins in Tarzan.
That doesn't sound like something I would like, but you never know. Maybe it would mix okay.
Jax, thank you for the $20 super chat. Hey, Doug,
Thank
since
you.
X-Men 97 is wrapping up next week, I'm curious if you ranked separate Marvel cartoons. Would you count 97 as just season 6 of the OG X-Men cartoon, or because all the new stuff, would you rank it as its own separate show?
I mean, I would probably, if you could do both, I would do both. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if there was just an X-Men cartoon retrospective or something, like you'd have to talk about both that and 97. You couldn't separate them. But like, for example, like for Disney December, I'm going to review the first season of X-Men 97. I mean, there's literally a 9/7 in there and the style is different. I mean, they tried to make it look like the original show, but they also very clearly try to make it look a little different as well. And they mix up quite a bit in terms of like what they can get away with and stuff like that, which I'm totally okay with. So I mean, if you could do both, I'd do both, but mainly I would kind of review them separately, which I'm gonna do. Like I said, when I do Disney December, I'm gonna do one for X-Men 97.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Tarzan, what do you think of Kerchak?
That's a Lance Hendrickson character, right? He's all right. I guess a great actor. I kind of want a little bit more with the character because I just feel like I've seen that archetype a lot, especially during that time. But he's done fine. He gets the job done. Like I said, I just wish there was a little bit more to it, something to make him stand out a little bit more outside of that archetype.
That Disney nerd, thank you for the 500 bits. Get ready to feel old. Here's some movies turning 30 next month: The Crow, Speed, and of course, The Lion King.
No, that sounds right. No, there are some. I think when I heard was it like Princess Bride was like 40. That's the one where I was like, whoa, something like that. Was that the one that was like 40, 45, something like that? That's the one that kind of blew my mind. But no, I mean, like the 90s now, I feel like, yeah, no, that makes sense. That's about 30 years ago. Like that's the right number that pops in my head.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. I really wish you would do a review of Yashahime. They are good stories and good characters.
I
The
remember you talking
Inuyasha
about that
sequel.
before.
Mhm.
Yeah. I still haven't seen Inuyasha. That's another one where I'd love to watch that show because I've heard mostly good things about it. So somewhere down the line, but yeah, it's gonna be a hot minute. And I'm not even saying I'll review it. I'll try to watch it.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. I agree. Hell of a Boss episode with the angels is annoying, but trust me, it has a bigger purpose than just showing heaven. Has a group that goes to Earth too.
Yeah, no, I definitely remember there's a lot of stuff that comes back and a lot of ones that look like standalone episodes. They actually make an appearance later. Yeah, no, it's just one of those where it's like, yeah, if I could like go back and like watch these again, I'd probably skip that one for my life.
Frank, thank you for the $5 super chat. Seeing your community post for the next review has me wondering, would you ever review The Faculty for Nostalgiaween?
That's another one I saw when it came out. I remember liking it. I just don't remember that much about it. I remember it had a pretty good sense of humor. And that is a Rodriguez movie. I like talking about Robert Rodriguez movies. Maybe at some point, you're not the only one to ask that.
Brady, thank you for the $2 super chat. FBL, thank you for the 500 bits. Do you agree more with Leslie Knope's love of waffles or Ron Swanson's love of meat?
They're both so delicious. I don't know. That's probably the meat. I think as I get older, sugar's becoming a little tougher, and meat's just tasting better and better. So yeah, it's probably it.
JL, thank you for becoming a member on YouTube. Tyler DeMellon, thank you for the $5 super chat. Sup, Doug Funny. Do you like Dreamy Bowl?
Dreamy what?
Bull, B-U-L-L.
Let me look that up. I don't know the Dreamy Bowl. What is Dreamy Bowl? It is a dude.
The more we say it, the more I'm like, are we saying something weird without knowing it?
I mean, this looks like a guy who would have it so that, you know, he's tricking you into saying something else. But some of these images are pretty funny. But I do not know this Dreamy Bowl, so I will try to look into Dreamy Bowl.
JCR, thank you for the $5 super chat. Rewatching the Goofy movie review, and you mentioned Epic Mickey. Have you ever played Epic Mickey? If not, what's your thought on the concept?
The concept is cool. Honestly, I heard a lot of good stuff about it when it was being hyped up, and then when the game came out, I just never heard of it again. So I just kind of assumed it wasn't that great. But now with the re-release, everyone's like, "You gotta play Epic Mickey! Oh my god, so good, so good!" So yeah, I really want to. We might do that after Final Fantasy. That might be the next game to play because I know there is a re-release, and I figure that'd be a cool way to be introduced to it.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. I may not like Wish, but I don't think it was AI generated. The story is at least competent, and AI can't produce lyrics that bizarre.
Somebody, slight subject change, somebody sent me a Nostalgia Critic song. And I was like, oh, wow, this person really went out of their way to, write kind of this fun song and everything. And it turns out it was AI generated, like the lyrics, the music, the voice, everything. And I looked into it they're not great, but they're not bad. It's something about that creeps me out even more than the images. I don't know why. And I just, I typed in a conversation. Hi, how are you? My name is Doug. I am typing or something like that. And it just literally made a song out of that. Like you just swear somebody spent hours and orchestration stuff just putting a song to that lyrics in seconds, and it's like that's horrifying to me. I don't know why. That's the first major one where I'm like, that really scares me. Like I see a ton of problems with AI and AI art and what we're doing with it and stuff like that, but something about that really scared me.
Lucas, thank you for the $2 super chat. Maryland Wolves, thank you for the $5 super chat. Since you brought up Robin Williams in Insomnia, have you seen 1 Hour Photo? In my humble opinion, it's Robin Williams' best dramatic role.
It's good.
I was frozen
They
today.
try building up the ending so much, and when you finally get there, I know they're doing a little bait and switch and stuff like that, but I thought that was built up so much, and what the payoff is just so A, wasn't worth it, and B, didn't make a lot of sense to me. So because these images are disturbing and everything, and then when you see them, like, what's disturbing about that? I don't know. That really drove me up a wall and kind of ruined a lot of the movie for me. But the rest is good and interesting. And that is one of those where the ending really, for me, kind of ruined a lot. But who knows? Maybe if I watch it again, I'll see more what it was trying to do. But yeah, back then that ending really irked me.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. NC for Golden Films Hunchback. Trust me, you'd be surprised how awful it is and insulting to Victor Hugo's novel. Also, NC for 10,000 BC.
Yeah, some people were asking me for 10,000 BC. Oh, this looks like just one of those straight to DVD thing. I think it goes without saying this is going to be insulting to Victor Hugo. Probably not, but I don't know. Maybe I'll check it out just to get a laugh or something.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. I know you also thought Amphibia had a weak first season. I personally really like it and think it does a good job of setting up the characters and the world, but I understand why you thought it was a slow start.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's kind of like Tangled. It was the same thing where it starts off like, well, this is fine for a kid show. Like, this is just kind of for kids kind of thing, which is fine. You can be that, there's just not a ton for adults. And then for some reason, the following seasons are like, okay, now let's grow this up. Let's make this for older kids and adults and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't know. It's maybe the first seasons are just a proof of concept, to get little kids on board and then grow them up. Maybe, I'm not sure.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Which Jurassic Park movie is the worst, 3 or Dominion?
Dominion. 3, at least you can kind of see it's like, oh, we're just a fun little romp, whatever. Ooh, we're back on the island. Here's the pterodactyls. You never saw them before, so here you go. It's a toy movie, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's unapologetic about it. And I can't say it's good, but it's like it knows what it is. Where Dominion, how do they keep mucking up dinosaurs in a city? Do something with this. How are you not able to do something with this?
The Samurai Hobbit, thank you for the $5 super chat. Are you ever going to do an NC review of a movie in a foreign language? I'm sure there's NC Gold in every language, not just English.
The most I've gotten to is maybe doing foreign commercials for a commercial special. I figure that might be fun. Yeah, but there's no film I can think of where it's the original language is funnier. The closest I've done is maybe with Brad Jones, the Passion of the Christ.
Kathy, thank you for the $5 super chat. I maintain that Mobius was really fun by early 2000 standards. When it was produced, do you think it would have been better received pre-Infinity War?
Maybe. I mean, I stand by that was the intent of the movie. I don't know if it's the intent of the writers, but the director, I think, was kind of going for that feel like, let's just kind of have fun with this, but still like have you care a little bit for what these characters are going through. Let's not wink, too hard at the camera and stuff. And like I said, I'm definitely not going to say it's great by any means, but I was entertained by it. I still stand by it. That's a totally fine mid entertaining movie.
Jake, thank you for the $5 super chat. Random, yes, but thoughts or feelings on Jack Bauer 24 as a whole, please and thank you.
I only saw the first season, and it was fine. I don't think I ever quite got obsessed with it like a lot of other people did. I think I started the second season, and again, I was just like, okay, so it's just kind of more the same, which I get why people would get into that and stuff. But I don't know. You know what it is? I think it's like lawyer shows. And court shows. I just don't get into them. I think it's the same thing with like, we gotta catch a terrorist,
Yeah.
kind of show. But the gimmick was cool. It was a very cool, smart gimmick.
Fat Disney Nerd, thank you for the 500 bits. I think most of us know how much you despise Hakuna Matata. However, despite that, do you think it communicates who Simba turns into? A secluded lion that doesn't know how to process his trauma and therefore runs away from his responsibilities.
Yeah, and I like they don't make them bad guys. Like, no, don't go back to your worries. Stay here, stay with you could see Disney doing that. I like that they, that they're just kind of the best friends. Goodbye, ignore your problems and everything. But I feel the scene with Rafiki, hitting him on the head and stuff like that gets across the message the best, in my opinion. But I think the lead in with that song helps that a great deal.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you think Revenge of the Nerds can work as a horror film? I have a soft spot for the original, but switch the music and it becomes creepy.
I wonder if anyone's done a fan edit of that. So that's one of those where I haven't seen those movies since like, I don't know, like before high school, something like that. And terrible confession. I thought it was all right when I was younger. I don't think I quite got into it as much as everyone else did. So when people really argue over, can it be shown today? Can it be talked about? Can it blah, blah, blah? I just never got that into it to begin with. I just remember it being okay. So yeah, I weirdly don't have any passionate thoughts about those movies.
Matt, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey, Doug, have you beaten Remake yet? If so, are you planning on watching Final Fantasy VII Advent Children? Well, it does take place at the end of part 3 of the Remake trilogy, so spoilers, I suppose. Lol, but it's pretty cool. Also horrible. I think you'd be entertained. Also, it'd make a hilarious Nostalgia Critic episode, but I hear you on the copyright issues, but it's cool, but easy to make fun of.
I will definitely watch it after I play all the 3 parts, because I do. It's funny. I have seen it before, but I don't remember a thing about it apart from Sephiroth. So, and because I didn't know anything about the game, and everyone said I didn't have to, and they were so lying.
So wrong.
Yeah. So, I'll watch it again after I play the 3 game. But again, I have to play them all. I know they take place after that game.
J-Bit, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on the film The Mothman Prophecies?
I don't think I saw that one. I heard it wasn't that great, so I just kind of ignored it.
Patrick Buckley, thank you for the $5 super chat. Is the T-1000, Jurassic Park 1, and Gollum still the best CGI? Also, 102 Dalmatians for Disney-Cember.
Yeah, it's another one that's always on the list, and I always skip it. The best, okay. I mean, definitely, probably the most revolutionary. I mean, that's what started, people going, "Wow, that can look really realistic." They're really good, and they still hold up very well given the time. I don't know if I say they're the best. It's hard to say what the best would be. Actually, with the sequel coming out tomorrow, the previous Planet of the Apes movie I thought has stellar CGI. I was legit looking at this like, wow, I just know it has to be CGI because there's no other way to do it. But it just looks like these creatures are really here. These apes are really there. And that really blew my mind. Though I will say I haven't seen it on the small screen yet. Maybe it looks different, but on the big screen, like, I couldn't believe how convincing it looked.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. Follow up about Tropic Thunder review. At the end, Malcolm could yell, "You choose this month." Then you respond, "Don't worry, Rob will change the thumbnail so it won't look like Robert. So I won't look like Robert Downey Jr. anymore." Jesus, Heather.
Might be a thought.
Brady, thank you for the $5 super chat. Grill me a cheese.
Was it?
Grill me a cheese.
I'm a terrible cook, man. You don't want my cheese.
Christian, thank you for the $5 super chat. What consoles from the 5th generation did you have? PlayStation, N64, or Sega Saturn?
Oh, we did have a 64. That's right. I didn't play it that much. I played GoldenEye a lot, and I played Mario Kart a lot. I didn't really play much else. My girlfriend at the time had a Dreamcast.
Hell yeah, Dreamcast, let's go.
I know a little bit. It wasn't that bad, honestly. We played Crazy Taxi a lot in there, and Dead or Alive and stuff like that. So there were games we played. But yeah, it was. I probably, it's weird. We owned a 64, but I probably played more games on the Dreamcast, ironically.
Fox, thank you for the $5 super chat. Why haven't you reviewed Fargo or Ballad of Buster Scruggs or any other Coen Brothers films?
Excuse me. I don't know if I could find anything that different to say about them. That again, I think a lot of our people haven't already said. Maybe Barton Fink I could get a little something, but I don't know. I don't know how many people are like looking forward to that. You know what I mean? So I like to do a mix of something I really want to talk about and stuff that people do legit want to see.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you think the simpler look in the Hotel Transylvania movies would have worked better if they used the painted feel from Spider-Verse?
No, I know what you're talking about, but I feel like that style would have been maybe a little too different because the style in those movies, like again, the actual outline of them is very simple, but then the textures looking more real. That's kind of the fun contrast of them. The textures weren't amazing in the last one, but I mean they still looked about where about the same range as the other films. So I think it worked out okay.
Sebastian, thank you for the $5 super chat. After playing through Final Fantasy VII Remake, do you think you'll give any other Final Fantasy titles a shot? I feel like Final Fantasy 16 would be interesting to see you tackle.
I think that's the one that a lot of people are asking me to do. And never played.
Is the most recent one and does not have turn-based at all. The combat in 16 is very satisfying.
Yeah, it sounded pretty good. I'm digging that. But yeah, I mean, I have to finish all of 7 though. Definitely, I'm not gonna just go from remake to 16 or something like that. Like I want to finish out 7.
Channel name, thank you for the $5 super chat. I meant that Disney Plus Doctor Who was aimed at Americans who have never seen Doctor Who before. It would be interesting to hear your take on it. It's only 9 episodes.
Is this kind of like X-Men 97, where it's kind of like its own thing? Or no, but I mean 97 isn't its own thing. That's a continuation. I mean,
right.
So what is it?
So Doctor Who in general, you can hop in at certain points and not miss much of anything. Like, you can hop in right now for the new Ncuti Gatwa episodes on Friday. Everyone also excited about that? On Friday, and probably be fine to understand what's going on. You could.
Okay, the only reason, again, if I was to watch it, I watch it only for myself, if that makes sense, because I feel like if I'm going to do a review without knowing anything about the other shows, everyone's going to be like, well, compared to this, compared to that, I'm going to be the same way. I'm like, yeah, well, what point do I have to talk about this if there's, literally decades of other seasons of the show, that everyone's going to be thinking of, but I'm not, kind of thing. So maybe I'll watch it just to watch it. I'll give it a shot. But I don't know if I'll do like a Disney December on it.
No one, thank you for the £10 super chat. Just wondering how come you don't do big NC specials anymore. One year we got Toonami and Fox Kids, etc. Are they not profitable or too much hard work, or do you advert specials take priority?
They take a lot of time. I love doing them. That's one of the as somebody asked at a convention, what's your least favorite part of doing a review, like the writing, the editing and stuff like that. And I say, I love it all, but the part where I get into it the least is probably the filming, because it's kind of the in-between part. You can't come up with the idea and then you're not finishing the idea either. It's the in-between part. But when we do those and we get everyone together, and I don't know, it just feels like a slumber party or something like that. Like we all do our job, but we just get the giggles bad, and I love it. I absolutely love it. But with the fatigue and brain fog and stuff like that, it does take a lot. And I do want to make sure this is gone, before I do another one, because it does take a lot of effort. Especially, I mean, other people write, their thoughts on shows and stuff like that. I definitely don't want them to, do all that and then be like, oh, I'm too tired, I'm too wiped, I can't do it now. Push it to another time. They work very hard on it and stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely want to do more, but yeah, I think I have to wait till I know for sure that the fatigue and brain fog is gone.
We're going to have to pick up the pace. We're still
Gotcha.
an hour behind.
Gotcha.
Movie Mike, thank you for the... We're fine. Thank you for the 500 bits. A big problem I have with Shrek Forever is that after the end, Fiona forgets that Shrek basically said that he wishes that he never met her. I don't like that he pretty much got away with it without apologizing.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't like that. I mean, he feels different, but it's like, I agree.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on Good Morning Vietnam, Meatballs, Stripes, and Little Shop of Horrors?
That's a lot. I love Little Shop of Horrors. Stripes is fun. Good Morning Vietnam, I only saw chunks of. I don't know if I saw the whole thing. What was the other one?
Meatballs?
Meatballs? It's okay.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen sequels to Smokey and the Bandit? If not, you trust me, you're not missing anything.
I liked the second one. I remember the second one being pretty fun. The one after that, I remember being bad.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Finally watched What's Up, Doc. Loved the chase scene at the end.
It's amazing, isn't it?
So
No CG
good.
or anything. It's phenomenal.
JL, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Which Coraline scene is your favorite? Did you think that did the mother and daughter scene well?
Yeah. Man, favorite?
I was frozen
I don't know. Maybe just the
today.
first time she goes there to the other world. Just the colors. I still remember the 3D being really amazing in that.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. Your Morbius thoughts are how I feel on the 2019 Lion King. I agree with the criticisms, but I appreciate it as an experiment. Please roast me.
The experiment angle I can see. I get that.
The OG Gripper, thank you for the $5. Hey Doug, was wondering where you stand on the best TMNT series in terms of the show. Me personally, nothing will ever beat the 2003 series. As always, much love, man.
I haven't seen enough of them. I've only seen the original. I've seen bits of the others, but yeah, I haven't seen enough of them.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Any notes on when Rob or any other CA member will be on these Q&A streams? Also, have you seen Jeremiah Johnson on the Outlaw Josie Wales? If so, thoughts?
No, I haven't seen those, and I should probably ask Rob again. It's been a hot minute.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Owl House, what do you think of the relationship between Ida and Luce? Do you think it was done well?
Oh yeah, I thought it was done very well. I could have used even more of it. I mean, but I guess that's the thing with the show. They had to cut down the seasons.
Thank you for the 25 NOK through Super Chat. What's your favorite Zack Snyder movie?
I think Justice League. I really like that one a great deal, and 300 would be a close second.
Japeth, thank you for the 500 bits. Last week, leaked footage of the canceled remake of The Incredible Mr. Limpet starring Jim Carrey appeared on Twitter. Good God, they almost made Shark Tale before Shark Tale.
Somebody show me that on one of these streams. It's quite horrifying.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the $5 super chat. Improv exercise. You're a mad scientist who invented a bioweapon to end humanity. But when tested, you find it eliminates only the sense of humanity.
The sense of humanity. Well, if it got rid of the sense of humor, then we'd all be doomed.
Aziz, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen Star Trek Lower Decks? I was hesitant at first, but I found it to be a great love letter to Star Trek, while also poking fun at its tropes.
No, that's what I heard.
It's
and now
good.
I want some, canaries to go in there first. And I'm like, man, this could either, again, it's like I'm Frosted. This could either really work or be really bad. And a lot of people are saying it's good. So I do want to check it out.
One of my favorite modern Star Treks. Cosmo, thank you for the $10 super chat. With the rise of video game-based shows and movies seemingly doing well, would you possibly be looking at reviewing some more you haven't done, like the Silent Hill movies?
Maybe, but I didn't play those games. So again, I don't think I'd have much of a reference to compare it to.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. Choose between these 80s musicians, Madonna, Michael Jackson, or Prince. I'd go MJ for personality, Prince for musicality, and Madonna for style.
Yeah, that order. That was my jam growing up.
JL, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Which South Park episode is your favorite?
Let's see. My personal favorite is the Warcraft one. I think that one's hilarious.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Ratatouille, I love the scene near the end where Remy talks to Gusteau, who tells Remy he was never pretending to be someone else. What do you think of that moment?
That was a very nice moment. Yeah, just about everything in that ending is pretty solid.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on Coldplay? I'm one of the few people who will defend them to my dying day, minus some of their dumber lyrics.
I know more about the hate around them than the actual group. Actually, I don't know if I've heard much Coldplay, so I don't think I should probably comment on it.
Tristan, thank you for the $5 super chat. How do I make a good movie about a tornado?
Um, have it take somebody to Oz. I think it's a good starting point.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the $10 super chat. Improv exercise. You're a scientist who cured cancer. The police think you killed your brother to date his girlfriend. You need to locate her to prove your innocence.
She's right there. Boom. What?
JL, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Did you hear that Jake Lloyd ended up in a mental hospital?
I heard something about I think he was arrested at some point or something like that. Is this a recent thing or is that back then? I don't know. Neither surprises me. Again, be cautious putting your kids in acting, man. There's a lot of things it can do.
Tedeman, thank you for the 500 bits. Greetings from Germany. Watching your videos for many years now, and I love the way you communicate your opinion on movies and shows. Are there any countries you may want to visit on? You may want to visit on other countries, and for what reason?
I guess I've never been to Japan. I've always been a little curious about that.
Japan's amazing.
Yeah. I've been most other places I want to be. I'm sure there's more, but that's the one where I'm like, yeah, that might be a good bucket list at some point.
Navi Sings, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Doug, did you know your Welcome to the Mind F was sampled in a very popular Vocaloid song? It's Mind Brand by Maretu featuring Hatsune Miku.
Interesting. So I know that's wait. Welcome to the
the Mind F. I can't say the word because we're on YouTube.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to remember. Was that Mind F Top 11 or something like that? Because that was already a song from somewhere else. Unless you're talking about something else. I don't know. I'll look it up.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. There's an awesome moment from Empire that sadly got cut. The snow monster is being held at the base with a warning sign on the door. While evacuating, C-3PO rips off the sign so the unsuspecting Empire soldiers will open the door and get attacked.
Oh, I think I do remember seeing that, yeah.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. You didn't touch upon it much in your review. What do you think of the songs from Cats Don't Dance, considering it's Randy Newman?
I don't remember them that well, so I guess that kind of explains my thoughts. Very typical Randy Newman.
Fox, thank you for the $5 super chat. I love TV and movies like yourself, and I like to live by this old Homer Simpson quote: TV teacher, mother, secret lover. Do you relate?
Maybe not quite that far, but I do like me some TV.
Alex loves musicals. Thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on the Tom Hanks movie A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood? Personally, I didn't buy him as Mr. Rogers.
I didn't buy him as Mr. Rogers, and I don't like they say, oh, he doesn't want to be seen as holier than thou or something that can't be obtainable. But that's what they do constantly. They do not show him as a flawed human being, and that bothered me. I love Fred Rogers, but I think if you're trying to get that message across, that wasn't gotten across.
Eagle Spangled, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Doug, love the movie and the video today. I noticed you mentioned Hugh Jackman and his role in Flushed Away. Do you think you will review that?
Someday. It's on the list. I like that movie. I think it's a fun movie.
Brick Cartoonist, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Doug and Heather, which movies do you love so much you were disappointed they didn't have the same running time as The Sound of Music?
Oh, that's kind of funny. What movie do I wish would be longer? Man, I don't know. I know there's a couple, but I'm blanking. Oh, I'm blanking on it. I'm so sorry. It's a good question, though.
Ricky, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hello, a Kingdom Hearts film is said to be in making, mix of live action and CGI anime-ish. How you feel about this since you played the games?
I don't know how you do it, but I guess we'll see what they're up to.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. In your review of An American Tail, you described the giant mouse of Minsk as looking similar to rotoscoping. Personally, I would have gone with rodent scoping, but both work.
Oh, that is good. Damn, that's really good.
Rancy Gaming, thank you for the $10 super chat. So, Doug, if you want to simplify the Doctor Who Disney-cember thing, just review Doctor by Doctor. Like, do a Disney-cember on all of the 9th Doctor episodes and so on.
That's still going to be so much time, man. Yeah, I just don't think I'm going to have the time.
Tristan, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's your favorite movie studio's logo intro?
Maybe 20th Century Fox. I like the lead in there.
Dolphin, thank you for gifting a membership on YouTube. Appreciate that.
You.
Mishy, thank you for the $2 super chat. Mishy, thank you for the $5 super chat. You should review Soylent Green.
I make a lot of jokes about it. But I never have reviewed the movie. Maybe.
Andres, thank you for the $5 super chat. If you're not already familiar with the story that Sonic 3 will be based on, will you play Sonic Adventure 2 on stream, or would you rather go in blind?
Man, it's a good question. Maybe I should play it. We'll see.
Dolphin, thank you for the $10 super chat. Please review the animated Titanic cartoon series, Fantasy Island.
That is one that's on the list. It's another one where it's just finding the time to watch all those episodes. But yeah, I've done all the other animated Titanics. I'm like, yeah, just getting a show on there, I feel like it would pretty much write itself.
Leprechaun Farmer, thank you for the $10 super chat. Did you see that Scrappy Doo returned in Velma Season 2? He was an evil lab experiment voiced by Jason Mantzoukas and, well, I mean, I guess spoilers for Velma. Do you care? Does anyone care?
I don't care.
And killed the title character, so now he's been redeemed.
I did hear that. They say, oh, you can't believe what she did to Velma. I'm like, all right, what's going to be killer? I'm sure.
I already had that spoiled for me.
Yeah.
Dolphin, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you thought about reviewing Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate? That's a dead horse in desperate need of a glue factory.
Yeah, we need a physical copy, though. That's the thing, because if we take it off the internet, that's a little easier for like people to say, hey, you pirated this, you ripped this off. It's like, well, they're not wrong. I mean, we can technically review it, but it makes it trickier.
Dolphin, thank you for the $2 super chat. Oklahoma, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hello, Critic. My question is, what do you think your favorite memory of your career is?
Man, that's rough. I don't know. I do really, I kind of mentioned before, I do have really fond memories of shooting like the Fox Kids and Kids WB and stuff like that. Just when we're all together, it just, I don't know, it's kind of cool. That like cements like, hey, you're an adult and this is your job, but you can really be a kid again. Like this is really like you're just with friends, talk about stuff, laughing and stuff like that. I really do dig that.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Never seen Cool Hand Luke. What we have here is a failure to communicate.
I know it's from there. I know that line at least.
The Ultimate Frozen Fan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Will you ever do an NC on my third favorite movie of all time, James Cameron's Titanic?
Yeah, I've talked about it because I feel like there's some interesting stuff I could say about it. It's just long, obviously, so it might be a little tricky.
Dolphin, thank you for the $8 super chat. Have you thought about reviewing the Green Eggs and Ham series?
Not reviewing it, but I do have to see it. A lot of people said it was very good.
Frank, thank you for the $5 super chat. What are your thoughts on the movie The Holdovers from Alexander Payne? For me, it's a movie I want to watch every year at Christmas time.
I loved it. To me, people are always shocked when I say I didn't like Dead Poets Society. And to me, that's what that movie was trying to do and succeeded so much better and so much more genuinely. Yeah, I really, really like that movie.
On a Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. The year 2034 called. It wants to know what you thought of Godzilla versus Paul Bunyan.
Oh, I think it's the best Disney movie ever made.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. The ending of All Dogs Go to Heaven may have resonated with me the most out of Don Bluth's feature-length films. It took the risk Pixar's soul should have taken at the end, in my opinion. The goodbye scene features some of Burt Reynolds' best acting. What are your thoughts?
I agree. Great animation, too. And yeah, it's just a very, I was going to say it's a very warm feeling, but of course it does start off with him in hell, so I guess that kind of figures. But no, I agree. I think that might be my favorite scene from the movie, honestly.
Stick, thank you for the $5 super chat. I know you're a big DC fan, so what are your thoughts on the new Superman suit?
I can't see it in that picture. That's why I don't like that picture. I'll wait until I can actually make it out.
The Samurai Hobbit, thank you for the $5 super chat. How's this for an idea? An Avatar version of a band of brothers following a unit of Earth Kingdom soldiers in the last years of the war.
Interesting. I mean, it just depends on how it's written, but it could be something there.
Kevin Lane, thank you for the $10 super chat. Improv exercise. You're an alchemist who can control the elements by thought, like Aang. You also accidentally travel to the world of the Fallout TV series. What do you do?
I give all those ghouls their noses back.
Sean, thank you for the 10-pound super chat. Is your worst movie of all time still Garbage Pail Kids?
Yeah, there's a couple of come close. Like Cat in the Hat comes close. That Nutcracker 3D comes close. But yeah, it's still Garbage Pail Kids.
Channel name, thank you for the $5 super chat. Yeah, Disney Plus DW is supposed to, or Doctor Who, is supposed to be like X-Men 97, where it's aimed to let new viewers not need lore, but if they like it, they can have fun going back.
I might give it a shot. At the very least, I'll try to watch it.
Too bad Waluigi, thank you for the £5 super chat. Have you seen the Knuckles TV show? And if so, thoughts?
I have, and I'm not sure when I'm going to get a chance to, but I hear it's fun.
Eagle Spangled, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, what are your thoughts on Lackadaisy and Malcolm being in it? Also, if you were to be characters from Has-Been or Helluva, who would you be?
Oh, I don't know. Any of those characters would be fun. And I really liked Lackadaisy quite a bit. The idea is cool. The animation's gorgeous. And obviously the voice cast is pretty stellar.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the $5 super chat. What are your thoughts on Bastion and X-Men 97?
I like him. I'm not familiar with that villain. I totally missed him from the comics and everything. So I find him quite intriguing. I love that voice actor. What a different type of voice for an X-Men villain.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the $5 super chat. Without going into spoilers, what are your thoughts on Gambit's role in X-Men 97?
I'm not the biggest fan of what they've done with him. I don't know if they're going to stick with it. I have a theory they're not, but I could be wrong. But if they do stick with it, I'm not a fan of that. I feel like you could have done that a little better.
Cosmo Suzuki, thank you for the $5 super chat. With 20th Century Fox owned by Disney, Rocky Horror Picture Show is technically primed for Disney-cember, and you can't deny Tim Curry.
Yeah, I never have reviewed it. Might be an idea. And who owns it now? I'm sorry.
With Disney. 20th Century Fox owned by Disney.
Oh, gotcha. It might be an idea.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Fun fact, in Last Jedi, the moment at the end where Luke winks at C-3PO wasn't in the script. Mark Hamill came up with that.
Cool. It's a good actor.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, or Spider-Man No Way Home?
No Way Home. That's my favorite out of those.
Adam Grunther, thank you for the $10 super chat. Are you disappointed that Mr. Sinister won't ever go up against Hugh Jackman's Wolverine? Maybe it's just me, but I really wanted to see him in Deadpool 3. Like, who was asking for Cassandra Nova?
Well, I mean, you never know. He might still be in there, but I just want to see Mr. Sinister in a movie. I don't care if he goes up against Wolverine or Hugh Jackman's Wolverine or not. I think he'd be cool on the big screen.
M, thank you for the 25 NOK through Super Chat. What are your thoughts on the Office US version?
I don't get into it, but I guess I respect it for kind of what it started and everything, and it does have a charming cast and everything, but it just didn't make me laugh that much, and I hate the romance. I hate the will they, won't they, like, but I get why people like that. I know they get, like, why it's kind of cringy and everything, and that's part of the fun, but that drives me nuts. If I have to see the guy just look at the camera like that, I'm going to strangle something.
All right, cool. 2 minutes to spare.
All right.
We caught up there. I might have a couple of moments here for some highlighted. Master Mario on Twitch asks, will you be reviewing Recess for Disney-cember this year? Say yes, and I won't have to kill you.
Not this year, because I have a few too many other shows, but one of these years I do want to see it. That and Proud Family I want to see.
Jacob, thank you for the $5 super chat. What would give the Cars trilogy out of 4 stars? Oh, what would you give the Cars trilogy out of 4 stars? And would you consider doing a Nostalgia Critic retrospective on the trilogy?
I don't get into them. I mean, the first one I'd probably give like 2 stars, the second one 1 star, and then the last one 2.5, something like that. Like, I just don't get it. I don't like the idea.
Blablik Block on Twitch asks, what's your favorite Michael Jackson song? Mine's Man in the Mirror.
Might be Smooth Criminal. I know it's kind of boring, but yeah, I think that's what made me just like, when I saw that just blew my mind. So I think that's always going to be cemented as like peak Michael Jackson to me.
Too bad Waluigi time. Thank you for the £5 super chat. Do you still hate the Raja Gosnell Scooby-Doo movies?
Oh yeah, they're pretty bad. The actors are good. That is the one thing we're looking back. I'm like, you know what, these actors did an okay job portraying these characters. But yeah, the directing's really bad.
Sean49 Doctor over on Twitch asks, thoughts on the film Cobb with Tommy Lee Jones?
I remember really liking it, but that's another one I haven't seen since I was like in high school, I think. But I remember enjoying it.
All right, cool. And with that, that brings us to 8 o'clock our time. So
Alrighty.
we're going to start wrapping things up here. Thank you all so much, as usual, for being here. We super duper appreciate it. And to reiterate, YouTube, we do have content on Twitch 5 days a week. So go on over, hang out on twitch.tv/channelawesome, and you'll get more of this handsome bald guy right here, who will, in fact, be playing Final Fantasy VII Remake on Friday nights. So, you can always come on over there and hang out. We appreciate seeing you. No matter what the format, we just like to see you, okay? We miss you. No. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, everyone. If you are on Twitch, we are going over to raid Miss Tamara Chambers. So you can go over there and see that. And yeah, have a wonderful evening. We will see you all later. Bye.